Hello everyone and welcome back to the 3T Path channel. My name is Giridhari. Now we hear a lot about the importance of setting goals, but people go about this the wrong way. I want to share with you here Krishna's brilliant insight on this that we find in the Bhagavad Gita. So now first of all, we have to understand that when we talk about goals, people usually think about the wrong kind of goals, which are the extrinsic goals which are outside of you. For example, I want to, accumulate so much money. I want to buy that car. I want to reach that position in the company, in society, get so many followers, etc. So these are called extrinsic goals. Now, the problem with these extrinsic goals is that because they are external, what's going to take it for you to get to that goal hasn't been discussed internally in terms of who you are. So you can violate yourself, you can violate the law, you can violate nature, you can violate other people. What happens between you and that goal hasn't been delineated. So people can get lost. They can lose themselves in the search for this extrinsic goal, this external goal, because they haven't decided what they really should be focusing on. And we see this all the time. And people, they get to a goal and then they feel empty. They feel, like, what do I do now? You get a lot of famous NFL players when they retire, they're like, oh my God, what do I do now? Because my goal was just to get this thing, and then what do I do now? Your life becomes empty because you don't have the right kind of goals. Now, the other type of goal you can have is called the intrinsic goal. Now, with the intrinsic goal, what you're focusing on is not the future, but the present. It's not an external thing, but it's an internal compass, an internal state of mind. So what Krishna tells Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita, what happens in Bhagavad Gita is you have this great warrior, this great leader, Arjuna. He's the brother of the deposed emperor, Yudhishthir, and so their kingdom was stolen by the evil group of Duryodhana, and so they have to reestablish their position as emperor, as the ruling family, because that's their dharma, that is their, it's the correct thing. It's the constitutional leaders. They were the constitutional leaders, and their kingdom was usurped by Duryodhana. So they're fighting these evil forces who had, by force, done a military takeover, a government coup. Actually, it was like a tricky coup. It wasn't even like a military coup. It was just like using shady contract laws, as it were. But anyway, so they took over the government and they had to reestablish their position. So Arjuna is all confused because he's a yogi, and he's like, who cares? Why should I don't want to fight for the empire. It's like, I just rather just be happy. I don't want to be involved in this thing because, this is a family thing. So there's family members on both sides of the war. It was very hurtful, like that. You didn't want to deal with that, with the pain of having to go to war with people that he knew his whole life, and on his side and on the other side. And so he's telling Krishna, I don't want to do this because who cares about, winning the empire? I don't care. I'm not attached to it. He was a yogi. He's like, I'm not attached to these goals. So I'd rather not do it. I'd rather not fight. So then Krishna's like, no, you're missing the point. You're doing this thing. You're focusing on extrinsic goals. You're looking at what's an extrinsic goal of winning the empire, or the extrinsic goal of just having peace and, slinking off somewhere else. But you're looking at this the wrong way, Krishna tells Arjuna. What you have to focus on instead is dharma, is purpose. You have to look at purpose. So what Krishna says is, and what I always teach here in the channel, is focus on your dharmas, on your purposes. So when it comes to taking a decision on having a goal, that goal should be planned upon your purport, your purpose, your meaning, having meaning in life, meaning in the things you do. Value, the moral and the ethics and purpose, that has to be the guiding light. So yes, you can have an external goal. We need planning. People say, oh, so then I don't have planning? How does that work? No, you can have plan. You can have the plan of accumulating, so much money or buying the house or getting that position. That's okay. But make sure that that plan first is aligned with your nature, with who you really are. Make sure it's true to you. Second, don't lose focus on it being true to you. So how you get there, how you get the house, how you get the position, how you buy the car cannot violate your true self. It can't violate your nature. It shouldn't violate ethics and morals. Your Dharma, it shouldn't violate Dharma. The path itself is the goal. The real goal isn't the thing, the house, the car, the position. The real goal is living life with direction, with purpose, and with Dharma, doing things, based on truth, on compassion, on being the best version of yourself. So then, yes, you go for that objective. So for example, Arjuna, okay, it's a battle. So obviously if you're fighting a war, you're doing a hand-to-hand battle, your goal is to stay alive and defeat the enemy. So that's the goal. Okay, fine. But that is not the focus. The reason why Arjuna had to fight is because it was his Dharma. He had the duty to fight because, look, it's the Constitution. You are the person appointed to defend the Constitution, Krishna says. You have to do this, not because you're thinking of the extrinsic goal of becoming, the emperor, or you're thinking of the fear of dying. You won't do it because you're afraid of dying, or you're afraid even of your parents or your family members dying. These things are not part of the consideration. You shouldn't even consider these points. What you have to consider exclusively, Krishna tells Arjuna, is what is your duty. And then you do that right now. So with this focus, with this kind of goal-setting mentality, you bring your mind to the action, to the here and now. Now I'm acting because this is the right thing to do. It's the right path I'm on. But I'm not looking at the destination of my path. I'm focused on the path itself, which brings my mind to the here and now. And because my mind is in the here and now, I can now practice mindfulness. My whole mind, my whole being can be engaged in my action. And I'm examining the quality of my action, not just the material quality of my action. For example, Arjuna, is he fighting well? So, the material quality, how well you're doing the stuff you're doing, but the dharmic quality, so the moral, ethical quality of your actions. And that way you won't get lost. So on your way towards whatever plan you have. And again, you should have plans. I want to buy this house, have this investment, get pregnant, have children, whatever. But on your way to those goals, you don't get lost. You don't lose yourself because you're focused in the here and now. You're living every moment with purpose, mindful of your actions, mindful of the dharmic and material quality of your actions. So this is a much better way to live. And also what happens is, as you'll notice, as you might notice already, when your focus is on extrinsic goals, you get disappointed when you reach the goal because, it's done. But now, with this focus on the path, when you reach that goal, you focus on the path, that it's not a destination anymore, it's just a mile marker. It's just a road, you know, like, okay, I got to this, but you keep going, the path keeps going. Because your life is eternal, you're always living. Even when you die, you'll continue living. So you focus on your existence, on your day-to-day. So it's a much better way to deal with goal setting, focusing on your Dharma, bringing your mind to the here and now, and then following the quality, focusing on the quality of your actions and not the external, extrinsic objectives. So I hope that made sense to you. Let me know if you have any questions. Leave your questions below, and have your rest of your day with lots of peace and lots of love.